Let's explore a full day in the life of a forestry climber here at Integrated Ops. The crew got up early to meet at the hangar for a morning flight up to the power lines to access a large work site with a bunch of mature trees that were down in a ravine needing to be topped for line clearance. With a good access point from above the site, we got dropped off just as the sun came up and began unloading our gear for the day. In this case, 3 sets of climbing gear, and said goodbye to our ride until the end of the day. After that, we tested our saws and loaded everything we needed onto our backs and began the hike down into the work site. The guys had previously made a nice trail down the side of this site for ease of access and medevac, but Ross and I had to go all the way down through the bottom and rope access this ravine to get up the other side to get to our trees. It was unfortunate and it was kind of a one-way trip. As we started up the other side, we made a plan for me to go up and brush out this old pad that we had seen on the way in. The pilot didn't like it because it was too brushed in, so I made a plan to just hike all my gear up, bring my topping saw, and just go try and open it up for heli access. So I dropped off all my extra climbing gear, started making my way up to this old pad. It seemed pretty good at first sight. It was still pretty sound. The structure appeared to be intact and the boards were solid enough to hold the weight of a heli, but the trees had grown in too much around it to clear the rotors, so I started going in and clearing a nice strip around there to open up for the blade clearance. And after bringing the timber edge back a couple meters, I felt there was plenty of clearance for the rotors, so I eyed up Ross as he started taking tops on the trees down at the bottom there, and Brad was working his way along the other side of the ravine. Finished up by trimming up anything that's sticking up around the pad for skid and tail rotor clearance, then topped up my saw and made my way back down the hill to find my gear, where I had to finish my hike back down and start finding some trees to climb. I quickly touched up my topping saw, geared up, and started making my way up this large cedar down the bottom of the ravine here that had a big castle top growing up just above the line that we needed to cut it to. This was actually the first tree I've climbed in months, so it was good to kind of shake off the rust and bring out the new Ripsaw 201 and test it out. Fun little saw, cracked the top off this tree, then had a great angle to watch Brad split this giant yellow cedar in half just above me on the other side of the ravine. Made a lot of noise on the way down. After a quick scan of the canopy to make sure nothing was poking up above, I started making my way back down this tree, starting to pull the limbs that were hung up. I didn't take all the limbs off this tree, just so it would live on even without its top. I then put away all my gear, tidied up a little bit, and strapped everything back onto me. Had a nice sip of water and started making my way back to the top of the hill. Even stopped and had a little snack on some huckleberries. They were everywhere right now. Once I was back up at the pad, I watched Ross crack the last tree, so I took off my gear in style and ended up making my way back down to help him out and cut a trail because he was just down there by himself in the bottom of the ravine, and this gear is better split between 2 people. Once we made it back up, we called in the helicopter for our ride home and this nicely brushed out pad. The pilot was really happy with it, so we loaded up all our gear and started to make our way back home. It was a beautiful day for flying with some nice ocean views, so we unloaded our gear once more and then said goodbye to our ride as he went and picked up the other guys and called it a day. Thanks for watching.